Hey dorks, just a quick message reminding you to head over to twitch.tv/mindgappodcast and give us a follow. We live stream when we record our new podcast episodes, and we're live streaming video game sessions on Saturday nights at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. We're playing super rad stuff like Among Us, Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, Jackbox games, and Tabletop Simulator. Come hang out and play along with us. That's twitch.tv/mindgappodcast.
Mind Gap Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Mind Gap Podcast. I'm Doug.
I'm Justin.
And joining us this week, all the way across the vast wastes of America to the Italy of the Midwest, is the wonderful human and talented musician, Austen Reno.
Hey, gang.
Hey, gang.
Hey, gang.
We're so excited to have Austin here. We got a lot of stuff to get into, but first things first, let's get some of this housekeeping shit out of the way. Number one, if you don't already, listen to us on Spotify. I almost said podcasts. Listen to us on podcasts, but Spotify specifically. Anywhere else you hear your podcast, but check us out on Spotify. Number two, join our Discord community. Do it. Join it. Be a part of it. Come hang out with us. Come play games with us. Come talk shit with us. Come post memes. Come talk about D&D, whatever the hell you want. Come join our Discord community, the Mind Gap Discord community. We'd love to have you. Third, check out our merch on redbubble.com. Head on over there, support the podcast, get something cozy, get something cool, get your mugs, get your pillows, get your hoodies, get your blankies, get your backpacks, whatever you want. You can find it at redbubble.com. Just search Mindcap. And last but not least, if you don't already know, we do a live stream video game stream every Saturday, 8 p.m. Central. At twitch.tv/mindgappodcast. I was robbed of the opportunity to play I Love You, Colonel Sanders, the finger-licking good dating simulator last Saturday for Valentine's Day. I got screwed because my upload speed was a whopping 400 kilobytes a second. And I had to
Doug had himself primed and ready to go.
You have no idea. I did something cool with the lights. I had a costume. It was a whole ordeal, and I was robbed of it. I'm debating whether I'm going to do it again this Saturday or if we're going to play Stick Fight the Game. But stay tuned. We'll let you know. That's this Saturday, 8 p.m. Central, twitch.tv/mindgappodcast. Woo! World record. We covered that. We're done. Austin, you, sir, are here, and we're happy to have you.
I'm
Welcome.
happy to be here.
I'm glad you're happy to be here.
Thank you for having me.
I'd love to just, I mentioned you're a musician at the top of the show. I'd love for you to give an opportunity to kind of plug whatever you got. We'll do it again at the other end. But like, if you want people to hear your music, follow you, where can they find you? Where can they hear you?
Yeah, so everything is at Austen Reno, AUSTENRENO. All couple albums are on Spotify, Apple Music, everything. That's also, my social media. I've got a bunch of stuff on SoundCloud. If you search my name somewhere on something, you'll probably find something. And I encourage people to do that.
Very cool.
Search my name. I encourage you.
Google me.
Google me. I like it.
I listened to your album today on YouTube, and I have to say, get ready for some compliments. It was really good, man. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed how diverse all your songs were. Like, it was as chill. It felt like just listening to some chill hop at times, and then there was something that was a little bluesy. There was something that was like a little hip hop. It was great. It was really, really good. I was very impressed. And I just want to congratulate you. It sounded really, really good. So congratulations. Like, you make good stuff, man. It was really, really
You
good.
got range too, which is, I feel like that's the key to longevity in the business, is being able to you got to find your voice, but you also have to be able to adapt and try new things, which it sounds like you have no problem doing.
Thank you. I'm trying to. It seems like every album I make, it ends up being a slew of different, types of genres and stuff because I can't really hone in on something I don't think I've really found the sweet spot quite yet. But and that could be a challenge all its own. But it makes for an interesting album listen, I suppose, if nothing else. I mean, if you can have an acoustic song and then it jumps into a uber pop song and then there's a rap song and blah blah blah. I mean, hopefully it keeps the listener's attention span honed in on the record anyway. So
yeah, I was very impressed, and I wouldn't say I'm a music snob. I just have very specific interests. Justin knows this. Like,
You're a snob.
no, I'm not a snob. I was a dick growing up. I was a real dick growing up, where I was just
Were
like,
you really?
this isn't the genre I like. Beer. I was like, get that out of my face. But I have like a much larger appreciation as I've gotten older for other things, where I can look at it and listen to something like, I don't like that, but I can really genuinely appreciate it. Like, it's not my cup of tea, but I'm like, it's impressive. Like, I can enjoy it. Versus like, something like last night we were like, I forget what we were looking for, but Justin pulled up one of my favorite bands, Goldfinger, and it was like the first couple drum beats. I was like, oh, I love this song. It's Goldfinger. He goes, how did you know that? I was like, that was my album growing up. Like, and I just went to this beautiful place where I was just like, yeah. Oh, I was. Pop punk is kind of like my heart and soul all the way through. Blink-182 and
me too. Yeah,
things like that. Like that's my jam. Recently got turned on to what I learned was another Grand Rapids band, Hot Mulligan. Huge fan of those guys. Now just recently found them.
They're from the UP.
Oh, the UP. Like, I'm sorry, I failed.
They're from the middle of the note. I think so. Now they like live everywhere. Mm-hmm. Those are my buddies, so I can talk about them, but like they live all over the place, but most of the original members are all the way up from the UP, like middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
I can't remember. Yeah, I stumbled across their video, Equipped Sunglasses, and I fell in love with them immediately, and I bought that album, and I've listened to it like nonstop for months.
It's
like,
so good, dude.
It's so good. Like, I was just like, I mentioned it to Noah, and Noah was like, oh, Hot Mulligan. He's like, you know them? You like them? I'm like, yeah, I fucking love them. They're the best. Like, before Twitch got really anal, as they should have been, about playing music on streams, I would start the stream off with one of their songs with Equipped Sunglasses because I was a big fan.
You can't play music. Like, what?
I mean, here's the thing. This is a great question, Austin. Let's say I'm on here playing games. I'm just playing your album in the background on my stream. I don't have your permission, and I'm just playing it, and if I get paid ad revenue and you don't, it's kind of shitty. I mean, technically, if I'm playing it off Spotify, I'm giving you plays and stuff like that, but it's not licensed. And the problem is,
I tell you I don't care.
That's cool. We would probably have to have some sort of agreement in writing that I could then submit to Twitch to be like, he said it was cool that I do that. We could do that, but it's one of those things where people were just playing for hours at a time with Spotify playing in the background, and these artists are like, hey, yo, whoa, you can't play my music. Like, record labels like, whoa, no, you just can't do that. And Twitch was actively going like, you should play Spotify during your streams. It's great. It's a great listener experience. And of course, the wave of litigation came crashing down. And then people were like, hey, you have to delete your VODs. You have to delete your previous stuff because it's playing music, or they have a bot in here that will mute the music if you're playing it. So they've gotten a little more crunchy with it, which they probably should have from the start. So yeah, that's a thing that exists. But it's very interesting how that all came crashing down. But yeah, I really enjoyed like the stuff that you write and that you're doing, and I just want to say, hey, keep it up, man. You're doing great work. I really appreciate it.
Cue fart noise.
Justin! There we go. So, in the vein of that, not necessarily the fart, but
Austin wields the power tonight. I'm just putting that out there.
So you have a family history of music. You come from a lineage of musicians. Is that correct?
That is correct.
In particular, I think you have someone in your family that was known for like a pretty famous song from way back in the day that involved some banjos. Is that about right?
That's the one.
If you want to hear the ilk or the cloth that Austen is cut from. Wait for it. What?
Dude,
And then the
bluegrass
bass
music is
dropped,
insane.
and then it was like,
That is one thing they should probably sample bluegrass music more in modern rap beats and like EDM stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I would love to see it. I'd love to hear it.
That would be awesome.
Because imagine
that happened.
Imagine syncing that up with a sick beat. Like that would be really, really cool. That'd be fucking awesome if someone would do that.
Who did it a little bit?
Avicii did that like a little bit with those like two popular songs that "No Wake Me Up When It's All Over." Like they had like two songs where they had, or maybe they had more, but the two that were on the radio were kind of like had that like folky, bluegrassy like samples to them. But yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see somebody do that.
Yeah, I would love. I love kind of hearing those different things. You know, just how people can pull them in and work with them. I think that'd be really cool. So that was your grandfather, am I correct? Like, what's the story behind that song, behind the dueling banjos?
So, a man named Arthur Smith was a colleague of my grandfather's, and so Don Reno and Arthur Smith together had. Arthur Smith, I don't know as much about like his history. I don't know like all of my own family history, but Don Reno and Arthur Smith got together and wrote the song Feuding Banjos. And then however much time that passed later, unknowingly to Don Reno that song would become famous, he sold all of the rights to that song to Arthur Smith for something like $75 or something. It was back in like the 40s when that was like $1,000 or something. So sold the rights to the song, and then and I guess it made its big like reappearance in that movie
Deliverance.
Yeah. So that's that. Yeah.
So feuding banjos became dueling banjos, and your grandfather's like, "You motherfucker."
Yeah. Whole family is. We're just like, dude.
Yeah.
So, what was it like? Like, so, I mean, was music pretty prevalent for you growing up? Like in your family, it sounds like it runs pretty strong. You know, just like the Force is strong with the Skywalkers, the music is strong with the Renos.
Yeah.
But does it skip a generation like Jedis?
Well. Hopefully, I'm not the generation that it is currently skipping. So find out. But so on my mom's side, the reason why my mom and dad had initially met was because of music, and so my mom was a singer and a country singer, and her dad is actually in the Country Music Hall of Fame. So my grandpa Jerry Schaefer was like a country musician. He was like the hometown hero, local guy, would like go down to Nashville and do records and stuff. And so music came from both sides, and it was all backwoods, country, bluegrass, like music like that. But so it came from both sides. So I mean, there was always music in the house and instruments in the house, and I mean, it's just kind of something that if you're in that environment, that's what you're gonna learn how to do, like no matter what. So
that's awesome. I love that. That's really cool. I grew up like my mom really wanted me to play the piano, which I enjoyed for a while, and then I kind of got into sports, but I always enjoyed playing music. I played trumpet in high school. I taught myself to play the guitar, a little bit of bass, a little bit of drums, but it was always a hobby. it wasn't something that I ever really truly understood. Like music theory is just, it's lost on me. I just be like, I can play power chords and I just move them in certain patterns in certain, ways. And that sounds good to me. Like, I don't, if you're like, hey, we're in G sharp. I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I can do this. Wow. Like that's how I know how to play. How to play stuff, but I have no idea how that stuff works at all.
I was lucky when we were in high school. I was in a band in high school as well, and I was this very same where I was like, I can do cowboy chords, and I can play rhythm guitar all day, but I don't know the ins and outs. But I was in a band with someone we've had on the podcast before, Bob Ballmeyer, and he is a music major. So he went, music theory just came to him even at a young age. So I was lucky because I would always approach him. I'd be like, hey, how about this? Here's an idea I have. And he would just take it and run. And I'm like, perfect. I can feed you and you can make it a thing.
No, straight up. That's the best. Cause like, I don't know anything about music theory either. Like I've got no clue. I know the basic chords on the guitar and stuff, and I can piddle around on a piano. I can play the drums, but I have no idea what any of it means with paradiddle.
Right.
People talk about that. So I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got one of my best friends is a saxophone player, and he was like all throughout high school. He was, the marching band leader and like all this stuff. Like kid's crazy, and we would make music together, and I would be like, "Yo, like I'm hearing this thing. It goes like da da da," and he would be like, "That doesn't make any sense." And I would like play it on the guitar, having no idea what the note was or like what the chord was, and he would be like, "Oh yeah, that's what this is, and this is like how you're supposed to use it, and this is what should go next, and blah blah blah." And it was like, having a friend who knows music theory is like 2 thumbs up.
The best. It's the best.
Did he play sax on your most recent album?
Yeah, he did actually. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Ice Cubes in My Bourbon. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard some saxophone there. I'm like, man, Austen is hitting everything in this. This is awesome.
Yeah. I don't play saxophone, but shout out to Jake Bartell. That's my guy.
That was awesome. That was so cool.
Awesome. Yeah, when I was listening to that, I couldn't figure out at first. I was like, did he use MIDI to just kind of like emulate? But then the runs in between the notes were too smooth. I'm like, that's got to be a real sax. I don't know if he plays. If he does, fuck this guy because it's too much. Too good.
I wish, dude. I've tried picking up like a saxophone or a trumpet, and it's just can't do it. It hurts my cheeks too.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I remember like after taking a break from playing trumpet before and going back, like it's like just the muscles. I'm like, my face hurts. I can't do it anymore.
Did you ever split your lip? I played trumpet too in high school, and if
I did.
In the winter time, if you didn't keep your lips chapped and you had to play, man, your lips just like split right in the center. It was so
and I remember all the band kids had this like crazy special chapstick that they used.
Yeah.
What?
And rubber mouthpieces when you're in marching band in the winter.
Smart.
Because we had kids who didn't use the rubber mouthpiece, and they would put their thing down, but their lip would come down with the trumpet, and we were like, gotta go see the nurse.
A Christmas Story situation going on.
That's exactly it.
You know what's wild to me is one of the most filthy places in a school is the band room floor, because as people are playing, they just empty out their spit. Like, as I remember, like playing trumpet, and it starts like if you don't empty out the spit, it starts going as you're playing. I'm like, oh, hold on, and then I just push the lever and just and blow, and just spit would pour out into the ground. There'd just be big puddles, and I never thought anything of it. I'm like, wait, does anyone ever clean this up? This is fucking disgusting.
Ours was carpeted.
Oh, what? What?
Do you think there's special regulations for that now? Like,
without a doubt.
Like everybody has their own like individual attachment like cup that like there's like a biohazard. There's like a biohazard waste bin.
On each row there's a trough that runs around the chairs, and it just drains out into the swimming pool.
And the cafeteria where you go and get your fresh water,
This is flavored water.
Oh, that brought me back. Just everyone's like, hearing the spit hit the ground. It's like, oh, God.
It always had such a unique smell in that room.
It did. It was very weird. Yeah. It was a very weird smell. But back to music theory. I went to grad school for music business because I wanted to be a producer, and I quickly learned that I'm not good at that. But I remember one of the things that I took away was the instructor was like, the reason why music theory is so important is because you need to be able to speak the same language as everyone else. And when you told your story, Austen, about your friend, and you're like, there's this thing. He's like, I don't understand what you're doing. If people have the ability to be like, oh, I think it's in this key and it goes like this, that people can come together and speak the same language very quickly. Whereas I'm like, they're like, hey, we're in this key. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like that doesn't help. And that always intimidated me because I was like, I don't understand how this stuff works. So I was always terrified to jam with anybody because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I just play stuff.
No, I totally feel that, and that's a super like real fear when you don't know like music theory things like that. Because I mean, I still get like that. Like if I'm at my dad's house and he's got buddies over and if they're picking, they call it when they jam, they're picking. when they're doing that, it's like they were like, all right, we're gonna do this. I'm just like, okay, I know like C, G, D, and like whatever, but there's also, it's like when you go to like if you were going to be a studio musician, you were going to go to a studio, it's not like you have to have extensive music theory, but they have like, they'll basically just give you a chart and you need to know like what that chart means so you can play the music with the band. And it's like, that's kind of like how you said, it's the language of it and just like knowing how to speak in those, words.
No, that makes sense. Because like, especially for like studio musicians, right? Because they're like, hey, I have this thing I want to do. Here's this sheet music. They're like, cool, I got it. And they can play it. And they know how to do it.
Being a studio musician is probably one of the most terrifying jobs I can think of because you've got to be like, not only you got to be ready for anyone to walk through the door and be able to match their style, match their genre, match their like, just be so like pliable and ready to just be like just fit into whatever needs to happen. I cannot imagine a more high stress job. And if you're the one who fucks the take up,
Well, and I think that like most of the people that walk through the door aren't like superstars, so it's gonna be people that saved up $2,000 to like get a record recorded, and they're just excited to like be in a studio and have somebody that's good on their record and stuff. But yeah, it's if you mess it up, it's on you. But
yeah, no, I when I was in grad school, I took a producing class, and it was the first part of it was production, was all about how to record. And one of the guys, like, he was a touring musician with Cyndi Lauper and other stuff like that. Like he knew his shit inside and out, and he talked about how he was producing something for a band once, and it was like a speed metal, and this guy on the guitar kept fucking up his guitar solo, and this producer got so mad, he's like, give me the guitar, and he just did it. He just played it for him. He's like, there, did we get that? We're moving on. Like he played it for this guy. He played this guy's song for him. He's like, God damn it, let's just go.
No, that happens. That happens all the time. It's like, and we've like when I was in the band, we've been in like a real studio and stuff. I do all my own music at home or whatever. But yeah, I mean, sometimes if a take is taking too long, eventually the engineer will just be like, dude, just let me do it. And like that's just how it is. So
that's hilarious. So you've been on tour and things like that, right?
Yeah.
What's
lots of places.
What's it like going on tour?
Gosh, it's kind of like camping, but you're just like, honestly, probably it might be dirtier than camping. No, I mean, it's the most fun you can ever have. You're traveling to a different city every single day, and you're spending time with your best friends, and you're meeting new people all the time, and you're trying new food, and you're having plenty of beer, and yeah, it's just, I mean, it's a lot of fun. You sleep, like the majority of the tours that we went on, we were sleeping in people's houses that were just putting us up. A lot of the shows we played were in people's basements. So it's kind of just like the classic picture of a small band going on a DIY tour, just no money, just going and playing shows, and 15 kids in the crowd, and sometimes you have 30, sometimes you have 40, sometimes there's 2. We've kind of seen all of it.
Yeah.
Would you like what what would be more desirable for you? Playing like a month of shows in like your hometown to a decent crowd, or being able to play to smaller crowds but going out on tour and like going around the Midwest or something like that, even though it's not a guaranteed big crowd every night, it's
Yeah,
diverse.
touring for sure. It's
Yeah,
just like as a personal experience, it's so much more fun, honestly. Um, and yeah, I don't know. It's just it's pretty crazy. I mean, some of the people you run into and the people you meet and the like stories you hear and stuff, and like some of the other bands that you get to play with and hear their music and see. Like I feel like I've made some of like my best friends just off bands that we've just like played shows with on tour. Or, so definitely touring. Even if there's nobody there, it's still way more fun.
that's really cool.
I only played, I don't know, 3 or 4 shows when I was in high school. I was in a cover band, and so and that was pretty cool. Like those were some pretty amazing moments. I can't imagine. I always said this, like you kind of catch some of these moments here and there in these stories and stuff, but I feel like one of the coolest moments, like being in a band or being in a musician, is the time you play a song and the crowd sings the song back to you. Like that
Oh yeah.
would have to be probably one of the coolest moments ever. We were just like sitting there and like crowds just singing the song and like, ha ha.
Yeah. No, it's the best. Yeah. That hasn't happened too often for our band, but it happened always Michigan shows, the local shows, but it is like 3 or 4 times, good crowd, people singing your stuff and getting hype. It's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
That's
So
something that
go ahead, Justin.
I was gonna say. That's just something that I still remember, that feeling of just being on stage, like that feeling of walking on stage, even though it's been 15 years or so since since high school. Got a little bit in improv, Doug, when you and I were doing that, but
Yeah.
like just that there's nothing that matches that adrenaline when you walk
Yeah.
out on stage and you hit that first note. My
Yeah.
God, it's just yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's true that the adrenaline's crazy. And it never goes away either. I
Yeah.
just counted the other day because I was curious, but while we were a band, we did, I want to say, 130 shows
Wow.
total, or
Damn.
anything like that. But like, no, every single time, like every single day or show it was like super nervous to start, and then as soon as you
Yeah.
start, it's fine, and then you just spaz out and have fun for an hour.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kind of like
yeah.
this show.
No, that's a good point.
Cue
Like
fart noise.
yeah, I tell you. See, Austin's got a feel for it, man. He knows when those moments are supposed to happen. I love it. Yeah, there's something about performing that is super special. Like it's, those times, like I've always enjoyed it to some degree, which is, I consider this a little bit of performing too. Just, I've always just enjoyed sort of putting it out, putting out some sort of thing. And you're right. Like when Justin and I would do improv, it's like, cool, we're about to go play make believe on stage. And when when it's bad, it's bad. But when it's good, oh man, is it good? Like when you could do something, make something up on the spot, and you get people to laugh, and you're like, oh,
So
I did
tell
that.
me about this. Tell me about this like world of improv. Like, is there like, do you? I don't know. Do you? Is it kind of like a show where like a crowd shows up to watch improv basically, and then there's just like a group? Because I know like a lot of comics start with improv and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's kind of a mix. Some do improv, some just go straight to stand up. But really, what it is it's you kind of have established rules of we're always going to agree. Like Justin's going to come out and be like, "Oh man, it's hot outside," and I'm going to be like, "No, it's raining." I'm not going to shit on his idea. I'm going to acknowledge it and I'm going to build on it, and we're going to listen. And together, we're going to each give something as we're going in a scene. And no matter how wild or crazy it goes, we're going to keep doing it together. And hopefully it'll be funny. Doesn't necessarily have to be, but it's just a matter of trusting someone else to come out and just help you build something and be creative. And it's, for me, It's one of the most creative and freeing things to do, just to basically be like, I'm going to put an idea out there and no one's going to shut it down. Like, no matter what. And we played a lot of shitty improv shows because we were amateurs. But we had a couple that were real bangers. You know, we had some really good moments. And when those things are, when you're on fire and you're feeling it and the crowd's feeling it, you're like, holy shit, I see why people chase this dragon. I get it.
Yeah. But to what you were asking, I think too, is that it is very much like a rock concert where you do have an audience that comes to the show, and if it's a big enough improv group, they're coming to see that group. Stuff that Doug and I used to be in, it would be like a series of it'd be like a showcase of the bands where you've got like 4 or 5 bands that play that night. You'd have 4 or 5 improv groups that would come out leading up to the ones that had the most experience. And each one would do their own thing, and there was some interaction with the audience, but you were doing it for a paying audience mostly.
Mm-hmm.
So is there there's like an improv scene, like how there's like a punk scene in music? So like if 3 lads wanted to start an improv group, they start going to shows and getting involved in the scene, they could just like book improv shows with other improv groups.
Yeah, that's actually a really great analogy. That's typically how it happened. A group of people would be like, hey, I like playing with you. And they're like, yeah, me too. And then a group would form, and then they'd be like, yeah, we're a group. And then they would just be like, see if they can host their own shows or hop on at other shows, and they'd perform. And it was pretty wild.
That's dope.
Yeah, man. It's a whole little ecosystem.
It was really cool. I miss it. I was thinking about that, I think, earlier today. I was like, I wonder, I would be rusty to pick it up, but a part of me was like, I'd love to pick it up again. I miss it.
Yeah.
I definitely miss it. This helps feed that, where Justin and I essentially just, fuck around all the time.
Yeah.
Which is really great. We have a question from the Twitch audience that said, what is your favorite cover song to play, Austin?
So from the 4 or 5 years that we were a band, we only covered a song at like 4 of those shows. In the beginning we did a song by the Wonder Years.
Oh, yes.
It's the one where he's talking about stale beer and sweat and
Coming Out Swinging.
Yeah, okay. So we played Came Out Swinging a few times. We played Dreams by Fleetwood Mac one time in Chicago, and that was terrible. We never did it again. But at Bloodfest in Michigan, our whole promo for this festival that we were running with, we even got a cameo from Bam Margera to promote it.
Ooh.
So we were doing like a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater like promo theme. We even had a VHS tape with our music videos hidden in the venue for someone to go find.
Wow.
Right? This is all James Castor's idea, credit where credit's due. But anyway, we covered 96 Quite Bitter Beings by CKY at that show. That was so funny. So probably that was the favorite one. Didn't really do a whole lot of covers, but that was probably the favorite, the CKY song.
That's awesome. Kudos for doing a Wonder Years song too. Much respect. I love that band. One of my favorites.
I love that show.
Of course you love the show, Justin.
The Wonder Years are a great band.
Yeah, absolutely love them.
Although I kind of hopped on when The Greatest Generation, that was when I hopped in. I really like that record a lot.
I went to see Yellow Card at the House of Blues in Chicago, and the Wonder Years were opening for them, and I immediately was like, what's this? And they played Washington Square Park, and the place went nuts, and I was like, oh, cool. And then I did the same thing, like the Greatest Generation came out, and that album like just floored me. Like, still one of my favorite albums of all time. Absolutely incredible. And that I was like, this guy, Soupy Campbell sings to my soul in every way, shape, or form. And then I went to the back catalog, which was just full of great stuff too. I was like, yeah, that's a phenomenal band. One of my favorites. Another,
like you said, to the Bat catalog.
To the Bat catalog.
To the Bat catalog.
Another really amazing artist, Rebecca Black. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her, but
guys,
yeah, right.
0.7 seconds. That's all we can do.
Rebecca Black.
I was ready to start dancing in here.
Oh
Oh, I'm sorry. You were ready to start dancing?
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You know
that's-
I got to clip
Cue
more than
bar
just
noise.
0.7 seconds of that.
You remember that song from 10 years ago? That was a massive hit that everyone loved.
It was that song was fun, Doug.
Fun.
God damn it.
Every time I hear that, it feels like I'm partying.
Partying, yeah.
Slotty goes, here come the feds. Well, I actually remember when that song came out. Like, I think you and I were like working together, weren't we, Justin, at the time?
It was. It came out the year before we started working together.
Okay, but it was
Because
like,
I remember I was doing ClickVision TV, and we did a whole bunch of shit on that song.
all right, there we go. Because I remember talking about that with, I don't know if maybe I was familiar with it, I don't know, but I remember definitely having a conversation with you about that song when we started working
Haunted our
together.
dreams.
But that song, massive thing. It happened. And then just recently, as a 10-year anniversary, Rebecca Black came out with a remix of this.
So funny.
So real quick, let me just remind everyone. Here's how the chorus went in the original.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday.
Here's how the remix sounds. Now I'm gonna say this. I did not compress that at all. I did not alter the audio at all. That is the actual song, and it is nightmare fuel.
Well, and in the music video, she's performing it like it's normal. Like she's not like a shrunken person, like edited to be tiny or anything. She's just like a normal human who's just like got a chipmunk voice.
Yeah. I watched it for the first time last night, and I was like, all right, I'm open to seeing what this is. And I'm like, this is just pitch shifted. Like, what is this? Like, it's faster. And she has got ridiculous outfit on with nails, and it sounds like she's like, hey, it was bad 10 years ago. It's just as bad now, and I'm just going to have fun with it. That's kind of like my happy take on it, my positive take on it. She's like,
Oh man,
this is a meme. I'm a meme. There's memes in this video. Like, whatever.
Then 303 appears in the moon like that, like the bear in the Big Blue House character, just like floating up in the sky.
Yeah. It's
So
unsettling.
funny.
To say the least.
I truly hope that she did this as a joke. Now I didn't think of it in that way, Doug, where like she's got the meme heads in the video, and so maybe she was doing it like as a tongue-in-cheek thing. Like, this is a meme, we got memes in the video. That's a really good take, and I'm really hoping, because there's a part of me that's fearful that she went, I'm gonna make this song better, and here's what it sounds like. I'm worried that she thinks that's better.
I don't think that she thinks it's better.
Thank God.
Because as strange as this sounds, I've been subscribed to Rebecca Black on YouTube
Tell me
for
more.
quite some time now. She's actually
This just in, Austen Reno has
And
been
I'm not
subscribed
afraid
to
to admit
Rebecca Black.
so she has made music that is like not that terrible.
Because let's face it,
That's
when you make
completely fair.
something, that's the quote you want on it. This is not that terrible. That's what you want to
and,
hear.
Like, I'm not here to talk shit about this or anything like that, and I'm not gonna say that it's like great value Selena Gomez, nothing like that. But it's not. It hasn't been terrible, and so whether no matter how anybody feels about it, I think that Friday Catastrophe still made her career nonetheless, and
100%.
and I think that she was just paying a 10-year homage to the thing that blew her up, and she got some other big artists on it, and she was like, I don't really care about this anymore, so I'm just going to make fun of myself. We're going to ramp this thing up to 1,000
Right.
and friggin' just turn the tempo dial up. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you got it, because she's 23 now, so that means she was 13 when that single dropped. the original Friday. Like it's not going to be a good song. It's just 13-year-old putting out a fucking song. Her parents paid $4,000 to what is it, Arc Music or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And they churned out some weird bubblegum poppy. It's what a 13-year-old, gotta go downstairs, gotta eat cereal. Like it is what it is.
Chinese food makes me sick.
Please don't.
Abercrombie and Fitch.
It should have been on like.
Did I get rid of that? I must have gotten rid of that one.
You don't get rid of that, Justin. It gets rid of you. Okay.
Yeah. Somehow I still have Trapped, but I don't have. That's how much I hate that song. Is I refuse to have it on the soundboard. I'm sorry. I got angry. Please continue.
No, Justin. Let's talk about you and your anger issues.
I'm lost right now.
You make a good point. A 13-year-old. I mean, let's face it. There are some prodigies out there, that can make some good stuff at 13 that are wise beyond their years. But I remember
By and large.
I remember me trying to make music when I was, 15 or 16. Not good. Not good. Really not good. Really bad stuff.
So, like, for you to say no, or Austin, that at 23, like, she's putting out music that's more decent or more listenable, that doesn't surprise me. And I'm happy for her if that's the case. Because she caught enough shit when she was 13 years old.
Yeah, by
At the time,
kids that were older than
YouTube
her
video.
too.
Right.
And that was the thing. I was like, they should have put this out on friggin' Toon Disney or like something like Playhouse Disney or something, because they they didn't put it anywhere but on YouTube. And so and then from there it was just like whatever she was in, like 7th grade or whatever, all of the high school kids were just decided to shit on her.
Well, they chummed the water is what it was, and they went, here you go, internet.
Yeah,
have at it. Like,
they did. They filled a bucket with all of the innards and just launched it off the side of the boat.
Yeah. I look at that as one of those things where I think she handled it relatively well. Yeah. I think she, like, the money that she earned, I think she donated to her school, and like she was like, I think she fully owned that. Like, this is just a thing that I did, and I'm okay with it. People obviously were shitting all over it, but like, what are you gonna do? It's a shitty song. Oh well.
Fully agree with that, Austin.
What's that?
Blame the parents.
Of course.
I'm sure the parents did that. There was nothing our daughter there was nothing altruistic about that. They were like, this is going to be our cash cow.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know. I kind of look at it as something like maybe she's like, I think it'd be fun to make a music video. It's like, we've got $4,000. Let's do it. And they just sort of like maybe went full throttle.
Let me put this out there. If Natalie wanted to do something like that, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you love your daughter enough to be like, Natalie, I love you. This is dog shit. Let's work on this so you put out something quality.
I'd be like, listen, there's only one place we're going to get to film this, and that's 2 East 8th Productions, okay? We're going to do this right, okay? We're going to do this right. We're going to have Uncle Justin and Uncle Drew come by, and we're going to film this. We're going to do this the right way. And I'm going to be in it. That's in my writer. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. What writer? I'm like, it's in my writer.
You're going to be the guy. There was a guy in Rebecca Black's music video who had like a 10-second rap verse and like sitting in the car or whatever. You're going to be that guy.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, too, is like, I'm willing to bet she and I could do better.
I would say that's a chance. The gauntlet's been thrown down.
I feel like, with Austin as our producer, and I've got 2 East 8th doing the music video, I think we can make something pretty hot, man. We can do this. I think we can make it happen.
I fully agree with this. Yeah.
We could do it better right now. Natalie, get up. We're doing this. Wake up, kid. We're writing a song.
On Twitch.
She's 5, by the way.
Hey, Tex is in the chat. Hey.
What's up, Mr. Tex? Good to see you, pal. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see you. But yeah, I commend her.
A wild Tex appears.
A wild Tex appears. Everyone's like, oh shit, it's Tex. Yeah, I think I look at it as it's I commend her. For there's a lot of things where people kind of capitulate under the virality of of what falls upon. And I always feel like she's kind of like, what are you gonna do? She shrugged it off, no big deal. She moved on, and then as a way to kind of be like, 10 years since I did this. Here you go. Here's another thing.
Look, it got her into a Katy Perry music video. Like it did serve its purpose to kind of.
Yeah, that's right.
She it opened the door. She got in. For however big or small she is at this point, the door got opened. So it served its purpose.
Yeah. So kudos to her.
It's an unfortunate door to walk through, but it did.
Sure.
It was a
Shitty
door.
It's all right. Yeah.
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 I guess that's a good question. Would you rather? Here we go. Would you rather? We got a question for the podcast from text. Let's say you get your own name brand of chips. What flavor are they? They will be mass produced.
Good question.
What flavor? I mean, you can go simple, right? You just go cheese, but
I gotta go some sort of a sour cream and onion. If it's the ultimate all time is Dorito Cool Ranch. But if
Wait
it's
a
not that,
second,
it's some
hold
sort of
on.
a sour cream and onion.
I mean, Justin,
Wait,
we're
what did he
not in
ask?
7th grade anymore, all right? I think we can graduate past Cool Ranch chips. He said, let's say you get your own name brand of chips. What flavor are they? They will be mass produced.
Buffalo. 100%.
Buffalo? You like
Water.
that spicy, would you say water?
His would be pepper spray and CS gas.
It's a bag you can rip open when your guests won't leave. Well played, sir. Well played.
Once you just can't stop.
Don't make me get the chips, old man. Get out or I'll open up the chips. Oh shit. Dad's getting the chips. He's serious this time.
Tuna fish.
Tuna fish.
Tuna fish flavored Lay's.
Oh my god.
Oddly enough, they smell like Fritos when you open them up. Because all Fritos.
I prefer my Miracle Whip Lays.
Oh wow.
Lay's
Microwave
presents.
trout.
Lay's presents microwave trout.
Broccoli and hard-boiled eggs.
Oh
I
god.
was gonna say like scrambled eggs would be pretty good.
Scrambled
There you
eggs flavored chips.
Oh. Full English flavored. It tastes like a plate of refried beans and
Here we go.
sausage. Yeah.
Haggis. Some haggis flavored chips. That'll do it. That'll get it going.
Vitamin water.
Mio
right.
chip.
So, question for you, Austin.
Yeah.
Would you rather have an opportunity like Rebecca Black, where whatever you create will be seen and heard by many, but maybe not enjoyed by many, but there's money at the end of that rainbow, versus grinding it out, doing the good work that you're doing, but potentially seeing that your stuff may not be heard or appreciated on such a mass scale? What would
I'd
you rather do?
sell out in a heartbeat.
Sell in a heartbeat? Why?
Yeah. Because
That answer came real quick.
I've been on the sellout train. Been working on it for years.
Toot motherfucker.
I'm working towards selling out. Just have to wait until I can.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, sell out in a heartbeat. Because at that point, I mean, that's just nothing but resources. I don't care
No.
what anybody says. If you
It's a fair point.
at the end of the day, you want to have something that you're proud of. At this point, I'm 25. I've made a lot of stuff that I'm proud of. I'll make some shit that I'm not proud of, get a fat paycheck, have a way cooler studio, way nicer house, way better all this stuff, and then make some kick-ass tunes and content down the road. Sell out in a heartbeat. Easy.
I respect that. Yeah, I think that makes. I'm pondering it.
It
While
may
you
not.
ponder,
It might
I would
not be
say-
a popular opinion, but I would sell out. I really would.
I feel like
respect it.
That's a lot of, but that's I think that's a good business model in the sense that a lot of bands, like, look at John Mayer. His first 2-3 albums were like super sugar pop. They were just like teeny, but like he pulled his audience in through mainstream, which a lot of critics were like, all right. And then once he got his audience, he did the John Mayer trio and went, all right, now let me melt your faces off and show you what I can do. And so
So now I'm playing with the Grateful Dead, you know?
Exactly right. He can. So he that is a very viable route to go. I think you're right.
Yeah. But at the same time, I don't necessarily think that like every I don't think selling out means you have to have a Rebecca Black type of situation, because I don't think that those John Mayer songs are bad. I think that's still good music. You know what I mean?
Agreed. Yeah. But
I mean,
it's very, very mainstream pop though.
yes, correct. And I mean, at some point, if you want to do something as a career, you're gonna have to make smart business choices. You can you can make great music and be a broke musician forever, or you can be a smart musician and make business choices in order to further your chances at actually having a career in something that you want to end up doing, as opposed to it just being a hobby. So
that's a good point. I think I've heard some stuff like from movie directors too, right? I've heard I think, who was it? Soderbergh maybe was the one, or I can't remember. But one of them was basically like, I do a movie for me, and I do a movie for the studios, and then I do a movie for me, and then I do a movie for the studios. Basically being like, that's how he alternates. He's like, I'm gonna get paid. I may not love what I have to do, but I'm gonna do it, so I have the resources to do what I want. Or it was oh God, what's her name? Glenn Close was like, yeah, I'll do Guardians of the Galaxy. I'll be in that movie. I'll get paid an assload of money, and then I'll do whatever I want. After that,
you know, B.O.B. who did that with that song with Haley Williams, the Airplane song.
Yeah.
So he is the most underrated artist in my opinion ever, because he has been in like a rock band and stuff and done all of these awesome music projects, all the while releasing like the Airplane song and stuff like that. So I mean, like, it's just a balance. I mean, he finds something that you like to do and you're good at, but then also find how you're gonna, succeed in your career path and give you those opportunities to continue doing what you want to do.
And sometimes that can catapult into something else, like Sugar Ray, a band that was known for their heavier music earlier on in their career, then came out with some very pop-friendly content. There you go, exactly. And they literally released an album called 1459, acknowledging that like our 15 minutes of fame is running out. And Mark McGrath parlayed that into being a like reporter, entertainment stuff. Like they were able to be like, we understand what this is, we're going to take advantage of it, and we're going to go on and do other things. And I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. Tex said something interesting. He says, be careful what you sell, it cannot be bought back again. I can make a mountain of regrets. I live at the top of that hill.
Jesus.
Fair point, Tex. Noah says Owl City does this as well. It's I think there's a combination for it, and I think there's nothing wrong with making something that's commercially viable. I remember in college, this person had this insufferable idea that there were bands out there who, once they were kind of on the cusp of like making it, would break up and then start new bands because they just refused to like sell out. And I was like, I mean, hey, to each their own, but
yes, okay.
I mean,
that seems so That's so backwards.
That's a pretty radical sort of artistic viewpoint that, you're just, the purest core of it is like, we're here to make music, we're not here to make money. I'm like, all right, I mean, I guess.
Now see, you can take that
and shove it.
Right, exactly. Next topic. You can take that and you can look at it the opposite way too, because someone that filmmakers that Drew and I look up to, the Duplass brothers, they have very much they've even said, like, we've been approached to do like Marvel movies and movies of that size, of like from different movie houses, and we've turned them down every time because we could spend 2 years or 3 years doing that one movie, or in 1 year of our time we can churn out 3 movies, so
Yeah.
3 years for one movie, or 1 year for 3 movies, or 7 movies, or however like basically if we do what we want to do, we can move more nimbly and we get to maintain control over what it is. And one could argue that the Duplass brothers are successful. They've made a career, a living where they're supporting their families, and they've got moderate fame, and they're, at the end of the day, they can say to their kids, I'm happy with pretty much everything I've put out there. But they may never hit that astronomical level of success that people look at. So, for someone like that, though, they were able to find happiness in not selling out and not doing the bigger thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think that I don't even really see it as like, how I see it is, at the end of the day, the most important and fun thing that I could be doing with my time is making music, right? So
Absolutely right.
and to me, a version of selling out would be like making ringtones, or like something like that. Like like it's a career type of thing, to where if I could put out the music that I'm proud of and that I want to, that's great. But if I could have a career making ringtones, I would probably do it, because it just means I get to play around with music equipment all day either way, so
There's definitely a correlation between using the same skills to do what you love, maybe just not doing what you love. Like, it's in the ballpark, right? It's the same sport. Like,
Right.
You get to make music, maybe not the music you want to make, but you still get to make it, and that funds your ability to make the music that you want to make. Like, that's better than being like, hey, go sell some copiers, and then when you're done, go make music. Like, that's...
I think it depends on the person, though.
True.
Like, I think
it
that
does
not
too.
everyone's.
Yeah.
Some people may see that as hell and just be like, I am caught in absolute hell, using the thing that you can do, and almost doing the thing that you want to do, but not quite. Like, that might be, just look at Rudy.
No.
Yeah.
Doug,
We're not bringing up Rudy.
look at Rudy.
We're not bringing up that movie. Do you want to bring up Rudy again? We'll talk about it for the 60th time if you want.
No, that's
Austin,
okay.
do you like the movie Rudy starring Sean Austin?
It's been a
I think-
hot second, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's been a hot second since I've seen Rudy.
Yeah. It's not a
Is
good
it-
movie.
It's the one with the dude from Lord of the Rings, right?
That's right. It stars Samwise Gamgee. You're right.
That's right. Also from Stranger Things.
Yes. R.I.P. But, yeah, Rudy's a frequent topic on this show about how it's flawed logic and it's not a good movie, but that's cool.
But
And,
I think,
and after a recent viewing of it, also really creepy. Really creepy. Like, back in the day, I was like, here's a guy who's got dedication, but upon rewatching it now, I'm like, this guy is obsessed and in not a good way. Because I tell you who this guy's not. He's not Michael Jordan. He does not have the talent to be this obsessed about something he's barely okay at. Like, it's,
because he was bad at football, right?
yeah, he had more heart than anybody, but he didn't have the skill. And I was like, you're doing the wrong thing, pal. Do something you're good at.
what we should have seen.
Give up.
We should have seen.
Austin gets it. Finally, someone gets it.
Fuck him. I don't know.
We should. I would have loved to have seen him just make a career out of being a ringer for high school football,
What do you
because he
mean?
was short enough, so like he could just be like recruited by high schools, and
What?
on that level
was
he
the
could just
Hobbit, wasn't he?
whomp.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
He's a teeny guy.
yeah.
He was only like 2'4", so he could whomp on high school fields.
He can whomp. We have an interesting recommendation in the chat here. Justin, do you want to play the song that goes along with me disliking things?
Stuff is stupid, stuff is dumb. Doug hates stuff.
So that's
Yo.
that's a song that Justin wrote for me because I get very opinionated about a lot of things, and usually it's things I don't like. So whenever that comes up, he plays that song.
That was
And,
fire, Justin.
Thank you. That means a lot coming from you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Produced that yourself?
I did. I did.
We need a collabo.
All right.
Here.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
sick.
this goes right to what Doug was just about to say from the
Yeah,
chat.
Slotty says we need an Austen Reno remix of Doug Hates Stuff. So,
Oh.
just putting it out there,
All right, we might be able to make that happen.
I'll send you the file.
Send me the
You'll be
file,
the only
put
one
it
that
on
has
the-
a file. He's given that file to no one else, even though they requested it. He guards it very tightly.
It's
So
under lock and key.
that's a big
I'm
one.
gonna
People are
make
like,
it,
"Hey, where can I download that?" He's like, "Shut up," and he doesn't. He doesn't give it to him.
I'm gonna make it very synth wavy.
Nice.
I'm all for it. I'm
I'm
here.
just gonna soak it in reverb and add a bunch of synths and speed it up a little bit. And then we'll,
So
and
at
then
the end of the
put it
day,
out
it's
on
going to sound like
Spotify.
this. Yep.
Yeah.
I can hear it already.
Yeah. Noah says tune mail. Yeah, this is basically tune mail, right? We send you something to spruce up.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Oh, that's Ah,
Yeah.
yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Forgot about Tune Mail.
What is tune mail for those who don't know?
It's a business I started that you go to the tunemailco.com and you choose a genre template you want, you click on it, you upload your own lyrics, and perfect for birthdays, anniversaries, holidays in general.
Mm-hmm.
Other
And then,
celebratory
yeah, then
days.
you check out, you pay me $30, and within 5 to 10 business days, you get a personalized 30 to 45-second song in your inbox with the lyrics that you write.
That's awesome. That's really
I
cool.
like it.
Well, that's something else y'all need to get the fuck on, all right? Go
Right.
Hop on it.
hop on it, y'all.
We
You
struggling
dumb
out
dicks.
here. We need it.
How cool is that you go to someone you like, or maybe even someone you hate, and be like, hey, here's a song that was
Right.
produced specifically for you.
Right. I encourage the hate songs, actually. I think it'd be funny. People sending diss tracks around to everybody. Just
Right?
Yeah.
But you just do it to the tune of like Mad World. It's very somber, just piano. It's like, everywhere I see your face, your
Yeah.
stupid fucking face, and I just wanna punch it to the floor. I don't know. I'm not good at this. All right, I'm not good.
That wasn't bad.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was kind of nice.
Thank you. A musical improv. Ba 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 ba. That's how that works.
Do you like Bo Burnham, either of you?
I do love Bo Burnham. That dude's awesome.
Huge fan.
He's incredible. Yeah.
I don't know why I thought of that just now, but both of his movies that are on Netflix, I've
Mhm.
watched them a billion times. I freaking love them.
He's I forget what was one of his most recent specials where his stuff is so well done. It's just like his
Yeah.
musical stuff and very real, very visceral. I really
He's
like
just
it.
All around, like that he embodies just creativity. He's just a very artistic guy, and just like I to be as funny as he is, as talented musically as he is, to have an eye for film like he does, like it's one of those people where you just look at him and you're like, man, good for you, but also fuck you.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah. I feel inspired every
Why are you
time
so
I
good?
watch one of those movies, and I'm just like, "Ah."
Yeah,
I just want to do
Absolutely.
exactly what Bo Burnham just did, actually.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
really
I'm a
impressive.
copycat.
I gotta look up what were the movies that he did? I know
8th
I've seen
grade.
at least one of them.
Eighth grade's one of them.
Was the one, yeah.
Yeah, that one I saw. Oh, he was in Promising Young Women.
He was in an episode of Parks
then-
and Rec too.
Yes, he was. Well, Christ on. All right, hold it. Here we go. IMDb. This shall take me to the promised land.
You think so?
Oh, I know so. The director, 8th grade. Oh, he's only directed one film. Interesting. I thought he did two.
Great, you both are fucking liars. Cool, thank you for lying to everyone that he's done more than one movie. Thank you. So, Austin, I have a
one-
question for you. If
Yeah.
you can have one of your songs as like used in a commercial or used in a movie or used by a director or something like that, which song would you want to be used, and for what would you like it to be used?
The song is not released yet,
Oh, okay.
but I think it would be really tight to have a song play in the credits of like Stranger Things or something.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Oh, that'd be
'Cause,
badass.
the EP that is going to come out soon is kind of like a an 80s poppy synthy type of vibe. And
Nice.
it just kind of, and obviously like Stranger Things has that vibe, you know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I don't know, it'd be cool to just like have one of those songs in the credits of like a cool TV show or something.
Yeah, I dabbled in music supervision for a minute. I was a music supervisor on indie film, a couple indie projects and things like that. And one of my favorite things to do is to find music and put it in scenes. Like that's like my absolute favorite thing to do. I'm an instructional designer as my day job, and part of the thing that I do is I make content. And what's great is that internal content that I make, I can use whatever I want as far as music goes because it's not going anywhere. So I will endlessly search for the perfect song, the perfect track to use for different things. I actually used a Hot Mulligan song to do a little trailer that I made, for stuff, which was pretty cool. And I'm constantly like, when I hear music, I'm constantly thinking about, where would this fit in visually with something, or where. Would this be a commercial? Would this be like a pivotal scene in a movie? Would it be like opening credits, end credits? Like, what would the music video look like? And I'm just constantly thinking about how that stuff applies and how cool it would be to be like, oh shit, this is like that pivotal scene and like where the athlete is just like getting pumped up and he's like training, and then my song is playing in the background while he's doing that. Or this moment where the two main characters are falling in love and your love song's playing in the background, and it's like then it swells and they kiss. You're like, that's my shit. Woo! Like to have like those pivotal moments, I think would be really, really cool.
When you're
Yeah.
writing a song, do you see the music video as you're writing it? Like, do you have an idea, or not even the music video specifically, but like, do you just get imagery in your head when you're writing a song? Like the story that the song is telling, are you seeing it play out from a visual standpoint?
Sometimes, and I mean probably more often than I pay attention to. Sometimes if I'm writing a song, I can kind of like, I can definitely see the imagery of where I feel like the song would be taking place. Like I
Mhm.
just did one that felt a lot like standing on the street corner in a city while it's snowing.
Nice.
So that was like kind of visually what that felt like. And then other times it's just a lot of random things. But especially while you're writing, I think you try to like think of interesting like imagery and things that bring on like feelings when you hear certain words, and you can kind of feel like, like when you say the word juicy strawberry, you can almost taste it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
try to like, when you're trying to come up with those like metaphors and things like that, I think you automatically get taken to places that like create those things.
Yeah. I think WAP is one of those songs that really, I think, kind of takes you to a place.
I can
and, like,
taste that.
You can be
Right.
like, I can taste that. I can feel that. Like I know. I have a feeling that visually when that was getting written, that's exactly what was
it.
happening.
Yep.
I need to call my mom.
I was like, I think we broke him. Pot of macaroni. That's right, Slotty.
That's literally, it's so funny because you were so like, it seemed like you were just so serious and so interested in what I was saying, and then you were just like, honestly, like I think WAP is one of them. You just like went right into it. Oh my god.
That is Doug improv right there.
That's
Like,
kind of my
caught me
classic
off guard.
delivery. Let's try to keep that
Yep.
straight face.
He catches you off guard like that.
Cheers to that one, dude. Well played.
Thank you.
Solid.
There's- when I don't often write songs, but in my day I have written a couple, and when I do, there's usually one like piece of imagery that I always come back to when I try to write it, and it's a very specific location. It's an arena. And inside the arena are these two, and usually faceless, just entities that are getting ready to battle to the death. And every time I write the song, it comes out the same, and it kind of sounds like this.
Welcome to the Throwdown.
Yeah.
Seamless.
Well done, sir. And also, for anyone who doesn't know, Tex, who's just in our chat, that was his voice. Those smooth, sultry, warm tones. That was
Why
his
do you
voice.
guys keep doing this to me? Why am I here?
Hey, do you want to write a throwdown tune? By all means, Austin. We'd love to have it, man.
Okay. All right. I'm down. I'll send you guys something. I'm definitely gonna scream in it though.
Yes! Now we're talking.
You know what we need? We need an intro to the segment that we keep trying to come up with that we call the minute.
Oh.
And I would love it if the intro to the minute was longer than a minute. I think that to me would be endlessly amusing.
Well, I'll write something for your Rudy segment. How
Oh,
about
yes! Because that is bound to come up again.
30 seconds with Rudy. You know what I mean?
He should have
Yeah.
quit. The end, you know?
Yeah.
All right, Justin.
You ready, Dougie?
I'm ready.
All right.
This week's throwdown is between Dwight Schrute from The Office versus Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec. All right. We've got two guys that I know exist, and I've kind of watched some of each of these shows. So, Justin, break them down.
Well, let's start with Mr. Ronald Swanson. Ron is the director of the Parks Department of Pawnee, Indiana. He is an avid outdoorsman. He also leads the Pawnee Rangers. He is very adept at weaponry and survival skills, lives in the woods, has a few cabins, hunts, fishes, can drink most people under the table. What else?
Never been
He
hungover.
he eats like no other. He drinks like no other. He fucks like no other. He's Ron Swanson.
These are facts.
These are facts, yes. One time ordered all the eggs and bacon you have, and then pulled the guy back and said, "I'm afraid you misheard what I said. I'm afraid you heard give me a lot of eggs and bacon, and what I said was give me all the eggs and bacon you have," and then proceeded to eat it. Dwight Schrute. Actually, Austin, do you want to give the bio for Mr. Schrute?
Take a crack at it. Dwight Schrute is a paper salesman. He's a farmer, small town family farmer, sells beets. He's also would claim to be quite the outdoorsman, a survivalist, has all kinds of lists for apocalyptic events, who would have to eat who in that apocalyptic event. Has shelters. He's got a spud gun under his desk. He drives a Trans Am. He is dangerous, but also kind of sweet.
I love that. He's dangerous, but kind of sweet. Not unlike John Wayne Gacy.
Ends up being a black belt at the end of things. He finally got his black belt after wasting a bunch of time and money. But it's essentially a children's black belt, but a black belt nonetheless.
He also has his own currency.
Schrute bucks were around
That's
for a
true.
bit.
I know
That's
that
true.
part. I contributed. Yes.
Ron
Thank you,
has
Doug.
an unknown amount of gold buried in many, many places. By all counts, an astronomical amount of money.
Yeah, like an endless supply, it sounds like.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, he bought 51% of Lagavulin Distillery.
Right. It's true. A dull moment does say, he goes, "I think the biggest obstacle is going to be getting Ron to care enough about being part of this fight." Because
What do you think would get Ron riled up enough to fight Dwight? Like, Dwight would have to say something that would instigate this.
if Dwight unknowingly swapped out his steak for beets, that would be
Ooh.
enough.
Ooh. He'd be like, no, that's a beet steak. Support local beet farmers.
I'm sorry, son. What did you say?
Beets. Beets are the future.
Yeah, or
Beets of the future.
what's that? So there was the other Ron that was around for a little while. Who was what's that dude's name? Sam Elliott.
Oh.
Sam Elliott. Yep.
Yeah,
Love
so
Sam Elliott.
anything vegetarian, he's like, as long as you guys are open to communal living, and
I love the play off those two. I love those two.
Oh.
Ron
I feel
Swanson
like-
would kick Dwight's ass. So like, it's not even a question. I mean, look at the build.
We really, honest to God, we spent so much time last night figuring that you were going to lean hard into Dwight and that I was going to have to work to get Ron up there. But
No.
I'm totally in your camp. Absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
what if Dwight had some sort of contraption or something? You know, like, obviously it comes down to straight physicality. I don't expect Dwight to be able to do much, but does Dwight have the crazy sort of, like, you know, wild inventor possibilities? Is he clever enough or cunning enough to have, like, something on his body to that would give him the edge in a fight?
I don't know. Ron Swanson's got
I think
guns,
he-
man.
Ron Swanson's got guns, bows, and arrows. He's very adept at this kind of stuff, at hunting and ambushing, trapping.
Yeah.
I think the thing with Dwight is that he would set something up, but it would almost certainly backfire on him. That's
Gotcha.
the kind of guy Dwight is.
All right.
And that's in
Yeah.
The Office. That's kind of how Dwight plays out, because I think that when they were making those shows, it's like Dwight and Ron were kind of supposed to be like parallels, kind of, because they're kind of set up the same. Whatever, they're supposed to be similar, but it doesn't often backfire on Ron. Ron is literally just a badass for like most of the show, and
Yeah.
Dwight just kind of like tries to be a badass, but looks like an idiot for the whole show. You know?
Yeah.
And I know Slotty said that Dwight has Mose as backup. Ron has his mustache. So there's that. Cancels him out. Cancels Mose out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ron
Mose
would
would be the thing.
definitely physically just beat the living shit out of Dwight.
Yeah,
I do
he's-
think that Drew brings up a good point where you'd have to get Ron, because Ron would probably go, I want nothing to do with this small man, like, or this weird man.
Yeah.
You'd have to get Ron involved. But if he got involved, it'd be lights out for Schrute. I
Yeah.
definitely think, yeah.
I agree.
Unless Dwight could bring Tammy into the equation. Tammy
Mhm.
too. That would
Well,
be
It depends on if it's post Ron gets married to his new wife or pre Ron gets
That's-
married, because I think
that's
he's got,
true.
I
If
think he's got
Diane-
Tammy under control, and Diane is around, he's got Tammy on lock. But
That's a great point. So really, Ron's kryptonite is minimal.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So
okay, so
are we
here-
saying it?
I think that maybe it's all come down to timeline here, but I think first episode of Parks and Rec, Ron Swanson against first episode Dwight Schrute from The Office, I think we've got a battle. But if we're
Yes,
talking about like season
agreed.
finale against season finale, Dwight's dead every time.
Dwight, yeah. Without even blinking an eye. So I think we're saying Ron Swanson for the win.
Choo-choo-choo-choo-choo-choo. Well done.
Is what happens to Dwight after Ron murders him.
Yeah, because your body voids all of the bowels when you die.
Yeah,
Correct.
Yeah, it's true.
Because that's how that works.
It's true.
Wow. So, Austen, we did it. We made it through this. You were a trooper. We were so happy you were here. This has been an absolute delight. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you guys for having me. It's been a pleasure, to say the least.
Thank you
We'll
so
do
much.
it again in a heartbeat.
Yes, I was to say you're always welcome back. This has
deal.
been awesome, and this is the part where we just want to roll out the carpet for you to plug anything you got to plug, recommend anything you got to recommend. The floor is yours, my friend.
All right. Well, as said before, everybody can follow me at Austen Reno on all social media and stuff. Got a bunch of music all over the internet and on the streaming platforms. New EP's probably going to be out sometime in the summer. Uh, poppy stuff. I've been watching a lot of Forged in Fire lately. So they make knives. It's like a knife
Oh,
making competition show.
cool.
Also always watch Survivor. Attack on Titan is great.
Nice.
Um, all right. Cool.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Forged in Fire also do an episode where one of them made Mjolnir?
I beg your pardon? Mjolnir?
The Thor's hammer? Didn't they have an episode where they forged Thor's hammer?
I couldn't
I
say.
saw some show do that, but I thought maybe it was that one.
I don't recall them making Thor's hammer, but
Okay. I'll have to do my research on that. Some
Yeah.
show did it. I know
Thanks,
that. I
thanks
know
for
I
killing the
watched it.
vibe. Thanks for killing the vibe, Justin.
well, no,
Hey,
do
Doug.
some research, do some research and get back to me and Doug, and
Yeah, why don't you fax us your response in the next 72 hours, and we'll double check and we'll make sure it's all cool.
we'll put a pin in that.
Yeah, we'll put a pin in that. We'll come back to it later. Justin, what do you got to recommend?
Hold on. I'm researching now. I don't have
Fine,
time. For this.
I'll go. I'm super late to the game on this, but you all should check out The Last Dance on Netflix. It's the documentary about Michael Jordan and the Bulls. It is phenomenal. It is so good. I'm not a huge sports person. I'm not a huge basketball person. I do remember the Bulls as I was growing up, and it is an amazing show that really provides some insight into Michael Jordan, and you realize how different a human being he is than anyone else. Just not only just what he can do, but his mentality is something I will never comprehend because I don't understand that level of competitive nature. And what this guy was able to do, the drive he was willing to and able to create for himself to be great, is just something I'll never understand. I'll never quite get. But at the same time, I feel inspired when I watch the show. I'm like, man, if I even had just like a tenth of what Michael Jordan has, I wonder where I would get. I wonder what I could do if I could just cling on to just a little bit of that. So cool. It's such a good show. Check it out on Netflix, The Last Dance. It's really good. Justin, what do you got?
I liked the Dennis Rodman part of it.
Yes, it was so great because you get to see all these different. I love the way that they do it timeline, but like with Pippen, with Rodman, with like all those guys, like it's so cool. It's such a cool way to take a look at that time frame. It was so good. Justin,
Yes. It might have been Mythbusters based on what I'm seeing here. So
That's
maybe
false.
that was it. I don't know.
we all know Mjolnir was forged in the heart of a dying star. Justin, get it right. Read a book.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm going to recommend a documentary on HBO Max called Black Art in the Absence of Light. It's a documentary that goes through the history of Black artists, and it is really fascinating. And there are some insanely talented artists, and I found one of my new favorite photographers based off of this guy who lived back in the day in New York, James Van Der Zee, I think his name was. Really cool. I'm glad I found this, and I would just say it gives a whole new take on the world of fine art and
Cool.
art in general. So give that a look.
Nice. That's awesome. Also, don't forget to give Mind Gap a look on all our social medias at Mind Gap Podcast. Check out our YouTube channel. We post all of our videos there as well as highlights from our streams. Don't forget to check us out at Twitch, twitch.tv/Mind Gap Podcast. We record our podcast live Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Central, and we do our video game podcast Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Central. So check us out there. And Justin also exists in the digital realm.
Yes, on Instagram and Twitter at Justin_Michael, spelled Mikel. It's the fun way of spelling it. And while you're in the All Men realm, check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Podbean, Verbal, VURBL is a new one that's out there. Y'all should check out Verbal. And like, subscribe, share, rate, review, all those things. but sharing is the big one. If you can just copy the link, share it out to your friends, we would really appreciate that. Tell them that we're worth listening to because we love you, and that's what friends do for each other. And then 2east8th.com/mindgap, and then just keep an eye on all 2 East 8th stuff. I have a very special announcement, by the way.
Oh.
The VFX for Sid Penrose are done.
Yay!
The color correction for Sid Penrose is done. The audio mix for Sid Penrose is done. Sid Penrose is done.
Yes! That's what I'm talking about. Congratulations.
So, thank you. That is it was a huge win for us.
Awesome.
Finally. So
guys, look for the release in 2022. It'll be great. We can't wait to see this short film finally get out there.
We're holding on to it to 2023. We want to make it a record for the
want to make sure
longest
it gets
time in post-production for a short film.
We want to make sure that it gets out to theaters, in the right theater circuit. So 2023, when we feel like it'll be the best time. We don't want to just dump it onto streaming, Guys, it's not the way we want to do it.
Yeah. We want to make sure that the theaters get back. Yeah, it's a whole thing. So anyway, yes, that was an exciting announcement. So be on the lookout on all of 2 East 8 social medias for information about the release of that.
Awesome. Once again, Austen, thank you so much for joining us. It was delightful chatting with you. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. And also, don't forget to check out his music. Seriously, it's good stuff. I highly recommend it. You'll be entertained. It's good. Go check it out. You get this stamp of approval. So,
yes.
Blessings.
Blessings.
Do it.
Justin, thank you.
Douglas, thank you.
Twitch, thank you.
And listeners, thank you.
And you all have a dandy fucking week.
Mind Gap Podcast.